Right now, I'm studying music composition and piano performance, double majoring in both of those actually, and I've had a very busy year both as a pianist and a composer. I've written many new works. I've had many premieres of new works, both from this year and from my freshman year as well. And yeah, I've really been thriving there, really been busy. Since Lawrence, their academic calendar is divided in trimesters, they have moved their spring trimester to online classes and digital learning. But yeah, I live in Texas, Plano, Texas, and I'll be here for the foreseeable future. Though I do want to note this, I also was accepted into Atlantic New Music Festival's composition program, and depending on what the future looks like, I'll hopefully be there in the summer. So
yeah, hopefully those programs still are up and running.
Yeah.
Seamus, do you want to tell us where are you, what you're currently doing, what you're going to be doing in the next 6 weeks, and what your prospects are?
Right. So for those of you who don't know, like Max, I also go to Brown. I am a second semester junior and am getting a degree in music. But at the moment, I've been studying. I'm not actually enrolled there this semester because I've been studying in Spain. I was there for 2 months, and then my time there was cut short as the coronavirus pandemic hit. So I am hanging out here at my house in St. Paul, completing my Spanish coursework online. And the hope for the summer was going to be doing some economic justice work in Providence through a fellowship program that Brown does. But it's looking like that probably won't happen in light of the whole pandemic thing. So my prospects are unclear for the next 6 months. And as music goes, I've still been composing, although my scores have been going in a bit more of an open score, text score, experimental direction. And
like Morton Subotnick or Morton Feldman?
Like some of his stuff, yeah. I've been doing a bit of graphic stuff, a bit of text stuff, a bit of things with pitch contents, but not organized into conventional rhythms and staves. That whole world of composition. And I've been gradually shifting my primary instrument from piano to flute since I just feel more useful as a flutist. So that's where I am musically and otherwise.
Great, thank you. And Jacob, your turn.
Okay. I'm at, where I am right now is home in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. So I've been back for a couple weeks. Same thing as everybody else. I'm in my junior year right now, and it got cut short. So I'm at Vanderbilt at the Blair School of Music, and had a lot of opportunities, actually, just how things turn out internationally, starting in March, that are getting postponed. I got accepted for a 1-week exchange at the Royal Academy in London. That's now going to be, I was supposed to be going to Berlin in May for a premiere of a piece through Vanderbilt's Academy in Berlin and the Berlin Philharmonic. So that's probably not going to happen. I'm also supposed to be in Europe in June for a choir tour that's going to be singing one of my pieces. And I haven't heard yet if that's going to be canceled or not. But those are kind of the big musical things right now. I'm strictly studying composition, not doubling in anything. But I'm also doing a lot of research on the composer Bohuslav Martinu right now, a 20th century Czech-American composer. His diaries when he was in America were recently translated, so I just read a big 50-page thesis on his creative psychology and all that. So that's the update.
Thank you. Sounds really cool. I didn't hit record button until I was introducing Sam. So Max, I'm going to ask you to give me some of the stuff in writing on this, either on the chat side or something. Same thing with you, Yasha. I'd like to get that information shared with the group, the larger group. And I think we've got like 12 people or something like that. I'd like to share with you all this document that I've been working on, and it'll be the talking points that we're going to use for our purposes today. I don't know if you know that the cool thing about Zoom, first of all, could you all just mute, unless you've got something to say specifically, could you all mute your microphones? Can you see the document that I'm showing? Just give me a thumbs up if that's true. Got it? All right, so we talked number one. This is only going to be about a 25, 30-minute conversation. So there's some work that I'd like you to consider doing in the next 6 weeks. And the sooner you get back to me on some of it, the better, like your profile for Yasha and Max, that'd be very helpful. And it describes this. What I'd like to get is what are you doing this day? Where are you? What are you doing? What are your plans over the summer? And then send them. I'll collect all of our comments into a document and share it with the group, and then invite other people to add to it. Here's the second point on our conversation today is we're going to cover the topics that I'd like to cover, or some base questions that I'd like to visit now. I'd like you to answer these questions now, and then it's about distance learning. And then in 6 weeks, I'd like to get this group together again and sort of add to this list or these answers, just to sort of compare what you're going to experience in the next 6 weeks and what your baseline experience now is and what it'll be like in 6 weeks. My guess is that you're going to have new answers to these questions. Here are the questions. Can everybody see these questions now? I'm hoping. Great. What do you think the most successful online experience? And I'm assuming you all give me a thumbs up if you have had online experience thus far at this point. Thumbs up. Everybody. Max? No, yes, no, maybe. Maybe. And then what the most successful as of now, and the least successful. And I'd like you to detail what you're basing that on. And that's just something quickly, 2, 3, 4 sentences, something that you could do now. We'll visit that again, these two questions again in 6 weeks. And then what are the best online practices that would create an authentic junior composer's experience? What that means is something we'll talk about. What does that authentic JCI experience consist of? And I'd like to talk about that in our second point on number 2B is a discussion. And I'd like to collect your experiences and encapsulate that. And then C is a thought problem that I'd like to spend about 20 to 30 minutes looking at, imagining what for JCI 2020. I'm not sure JCI is going to happen. I'm not sure that it's not going to happen either. As everybody is talking about, there's so many unknowns, so many questions that we don't really know what's going to happen, but we're starting to plan a contingency of what we might do online that would be an authentic experience for people with junior composers. And I'd like to have you take 30 minutes after this conversation, preferably soon, what your ideas and recommendations, speculations, aspirations for an online junior composer's experience might be. And then I'd like you to send that to me or share it on the chat line, our Facebook chat line. So I'd like to go to the discussion point, this one right here, recollection of JCI experiences. If you wouldn't mind opening your microphones now, and then we could have a conversation, because what one person says may spark other recollections online. So go ahead, turn on your microphones. Who wants to go first?
There's like a very clear thing for me that I can talk about, I guess.
Yes.
So for me, it was so valuable coming. I don't know, I'm sure other people feel like this, but I don't know if everyone does. But for me, I was the only person into composition in my high school. And so just to find this place, not even too far from Morris in Minneapolis, where people were gathering, and not just people, but like really high powered, talented people. And the way that you had it set up so that, we would, what did we do, like an auction, like collecting our peers and colleagues to play in our own pieces. That was really the most special and the best part of it. So I think it has to be whatever happens online, and I think it's possible to be very collaboration focused. And I don't know if I remember this right. Did you have we had themes? Did we have themes every year, like choral music or?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe the theme this year could be electronic music, and then we can do something with fixed media, doing something, learning Ableton, whatever online things. People can contribute their playing, their singing, whatever, send the audio clips over, just a very computer-based, internet-based, electronic music kind of thing. That was like my idea that I first thought of. Something that's definitely very collaborative. That would be true to the spirit of GCI.
Okay, who could go next?
Just a question along those lines. Have people already signed up, and I'm assuming so, right? Because it starts in 6 weeks.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, was there a theme already proposed for this year?
It's going to be chamber music, basically.
Okay. I didn't know, like film versus choral versus electronic, because if people were thinking, hey, I'm signing up and I'm going to get like acoustic chamber music, and then it changes to electronic music. I mean, I think that's an awesome idea. But for the people who didn't think they were getting into that, maybe I didn't know if you had announced that yet. But.
Yes, we have, and it's going to be. It was going to be chamber music. Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
This coronavirus come through, and everything may be changed. And people may not come. We may get new people coming because it's whatever we're changing it to.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I know that's why I wanted to get started as soon as now.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Thanks, Yasha.
I do have a thought about that as well, but I can let someone else go first too.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing that I've been doing, there's like a yoga studio in New York, and they started broadcasting their classes live. And what that did is it enabled them to tap into a much broader online community. So I think you really have an advantage here. You really can advertise it. I don't know how we would do it, but like, for example, the master classes, you could broadcast them live for the public, basically free. Anyone who wants to log in and listen to that. And then you could even do something like a, donation, like if you feel so inclined, if you benefited from this information that we just live streamed for free, send us a donation on Venmo, a couple dollars, whatever. But like, you can change the model to incorporate, engage audiences, or wider audiences across the nation and world. And also use them for collaboration. I don't know, like there's just a big area I think to explore if you want to.
That's exactly, I mean, anything that is possible, that should go in your thought problem. What I'm really asking about is what you answered earlier, Yasha, was what was an authentic or really peak experience or a highlight of your experiences. And I'd like to hear anybody else's comment. I was informed about 2 minutes ago we have 10 minutes. And what I will do is re-invite all of you back to another 40-minute session. So right away. So don't go away.
Okay.
And I just got a note from Ryan that he's checking his email right now to join us. So that's good. Who else would like to go?
Can I piggyback a little bit off of what Yasha just said?
Yes.
For one, I agree with the idea of the collaborative element being something that's very special about junior composers, and also especially the fact that everyone plays their peers' pieces in addition to composing their own piece. That sort of composer-performer type environment that I find to be lacking from a lot of similar summer programs.
Well, what other programs have you gone to?
So I've gone to Atlantic Music Festival, which Sam is going to this summer. I went there a couple summers ago. Max and I went to Rocky Ridge Young Artists Seminar.
Right, I remember that.
Before I enrolled in Brown. I've been to the Source Song Festival. That was good. But I haven't been anywhere last summer, and I'm not planning on being anywhere this summer, mainly for economic reasons.
But your suggestion is the collaboration of performance and
Yeah.
other
Well,
parts of it?
well, I wanted to mention that that was what I'd found to be like a very quote unquote authentic JCI experience.
Mhm.
I don't see I don't see exactly how that could be replicated online in the same sense that we
Mhm.
experience it at JCI, like on site. But I also see this as potentially, if we embrace around the idea of online JCI, if we embrace the fact that it's not going to be the same thing and try to make it the best thing for what it could be, we can probably come up with some really interesting ideas. Like, for instance, Yasha's electronic music theme idea. But also, like, to go off on something that seems like a tangent but isn't, some of you know that my mom is a Buddhist minister, and the temple that she's part of has moved to online programming for the next several weeks. And there have been some aspects of their online programming that more people have participated in because there isn't a commute involved. So definitely, like, similarly with JCI, there's a way that we could reach out and make this accessible to more people. Not to mention that, I mean, if just the online programming without room and board costs less for the organization, which I presume it would, that could also make it more economically accessible to lower income. So that was a lot of thoughts that were kind of disorganized, but just that I think that I'm a little bit tense about the idea of trying to replicate an authentic JCI experience over the web when that's really impossible, when maybe a better question to be asking would be like, how do we create the best JCI experience possible that we can using the tools that we have?
What I hear you saying is reimagining how a collaborative structure might be possible. Is that true? Got it.
New outlets for collaboration as opposed to trying to haphazardly replicate the same.
Right. Sam, do you have something to say?
Yeah. I actually, I was thinking of another suggestion, piggybacking off of Yasha. In addition to the electronic music, if we wanted to do something acoustic based, we could do one possibility could be solo pieces for solo instruments, since that wouldn't be as, I guess, as complicated to coordinate as maybe a chamber ensemble through Zoom. And that's something I've been thinking about since when I got to Lawrence. I started writing a lot more solo pieces for more solo instruments. I wrote a suite for solo cello in my spring term last year, in my freshman year, and I wrote some other solo pieces over the summer as well. And that was, just thinking back to junior composers, that was something that that people had done, but that wasn't like an overall theme for the 2-week studio program. And that could be a creative way to get a creative idea for the for acoustic, for writing pieces for musicians to perform. And then another thing I was also thinking, since what we're doing at Lawrence is that we're moving to Zoom discussions for classes, and I have 2 classes that will take place as Zoom discussions. One of them is an upper level theory class, and I was thinking that is a possibility maybe for theory classes at junior composers too, that those could be Zoom discussions. I don't know how well it would work since I haven't taken my theory class yet, but yeah, those are 2 things I was thinking about. So.
Yeah, I wrote down, I don't know if you saw my note on the document, but I was thinking the same thing. What about theory, online theory? That's very helpful. Thanks, Sam.
Of course.
I have about less than a minute. I'm going to sign off right now. What that means is I have to save the recorded version of this, and then I have to invite everybody. Stand by for about 5 minutes. I'll be right back. And I know, Max, I'd like to start with you when we get back, because you're going to take off at 4, and I want to get your time, 4 o'clock. So
I'm also taking off then too,
okay,
by the way.
So and Jacob, I want to hear your thoughts. And I should have started with you 2 actually, but we're going to get back to you in as short a period as possible.
Okay.
Thank you. And we are done.